In this video, we're going to go ahead and download and install the JDK, which is the Java Development Kit, which contains the software to be able to run programs in this course. Now, if you're running on a Mac or a Linux machine, you want to check out a specific video that we've created in this section of the course for those operating systems. The reason is the steps are slightly different for each platform. So this is the Windows video. So if you are on Windows, you want to start by going to java.oracle.com. And that'll bring you to a page from Oracle, which are now the owners of the Java product. I'm going to come over here to under Technologies and click on Java SE. And once that page loads, come over here and click on Downloads. And finally, once we get to that page, there's this little icon here, this little image, and it'll say Java Platform JDK and a number here. Now, it's highly likely that this number will change in the future because Oracle release at regular intervals updates to the Java Development Kit. So if you've got a later number than that, that's fine. Just click on the graphic there, and that'll take you to the download page where we can actually download the software. Now, what we need to do is determine whether your computer is a 32 or is running a 32 or 64-bit version of Windows. The reason for that is that there's two versions of the JDK available. You can see here Windows x86 and Windows x64. So what that means is Windows x86 is for computers running a 32-bit version of Windows, and Windows x64 is for 64-bit version of Windows. So to find out which version you're running on your computer, you basically want to get into Control Panel, or if on Windows 10, it's Settings. So I'm going to come down here, I've clicked on the Start icon, click on Settings. Once you get into Control Panel, or in my case Windows Settings, click on System, and then there's an option down here for About. That's certainly what it is for Windows 10. It might be slightly different for older version of Windows, but there's an option on all versions of Windows to tell you what version of Windows you're running. Under here on a system type, you can see that it says 64-bit operating system. So ignore this part to the right where it says x64 based processor, because it is possible confusingly to have a 64-bit processor but to be running a 32-bit version of the Windows operating system. So the important bit here is to the left where it says 64-bit operating system. That tells me there that I'm running a 64-bit version of the operating system, and I can now choose my download. The only other option that would come up would be a 32-bit version, and once you know that, you can close that screen down. You come back to the page that we loaded previously and choose the relevant version. Now, before they allow you to download, you need to click on Accept License Agreement, this little radio button that you saw me click, and now I need to choose the version. So a 32-bit version, that would be the Windows x86 version. In my case, 64 means 64-bit version or 64-bit edition of Windows. So I'm going to click on that little option there for me. So you'll choose whichever one is appropriate. And I'm going to click on Run to let Windows run this so that we can go ahead and install it. So I'll just fast forward this while it continues and completes the download. Okay, so I've gone ahead and the download's finished and it's started because I selected it to run. Now, if you didn't select run, you might have to double click the downloaded program to start it, but in any event, it should start. I'm going to close down the browser because we no longer need it. And you'll get a process like this, an installation process that we can actually go through. So I can come through here now and I can click on Next. Now, you may actually need to know this later in the course, so just keep to the back of your mind, or perhaps write down the area or the path that this software has been installed in. You can see in my case it's going to be installed in C:\program files/Java, and then this number will relate to the version that you've downloaded. So the important part is program files/Java. So you may or may not need that later in the course, but make a mental note of that or write it down so you know. Click on Next. We don't need to change any options there. We'll let it do its thing and install. The next thing it does, it's installed the JDK, but it also wants to install the JRE. The JRE stands for the Java Runtime Edition, and you do need to have both things on your computer in order to be able to use Java. So we're going to just click on Next, noting that directory, the C:\program files/Java, so it's actually putting it in a different subfolder. And again, you may need that later in the course. Click on Next and let it do its thing again. Alright, so at this point you can see that it's come up and said the Java SE Development Kit 8 update, and then the number has been successfully installed, so we're actually done. So I can click on Close, and I'm going to finish the video here. Let's move on to the next one. In this video, we're going to go ahead and download and install the JDK, which is the Java Development Kit, which contains the software to be able to run programs in this course. Now, if you're running on a Mac or a Linux machine,